So John Wooden is an absolute legend, and I loved his speech. And from his speech, I got three main takeaways as lessons to give to managers. And the first one is to look professional, dress clean. Doesn't have to be a three-piece suit or anything. Whatever your job is, just wear what you're supposed to. Look clean. If you're a dude, shave. Stuff like that. Because the way people perceive you is kind of shallow for the most part. And if an employee sees that a manager is well put together and it shows that he's serious about what he's doing, and that's really important for a manager to have that kind of trust within his employees to know that he's serious and he's putting in the effort to do this. And I mean, also, if you can't put together yourself here, like even a good example would be like cleaning your room. If you can't keep your stuff tidy on yourself, how can you go out into the world and be successful if you can't even be successful with the things you do to yourself? So that's one. And another one is to always be on time. I really like that one. That's something I take very seriously, and I think everybody else should, because somebody who's on time all the time is reliable, they're trustworthy, and that's a huge thing. I've been in situations with a manager who is not on time ever, or sometimes just doesn't show up, and it's really frustrating. And even though if that manager really knows what they're doing and they're really good at what they do, you still have a bad attitude towards them if they just can't show up. It's the first step every day. Show up. And it's just huge for a manager to have that characteristic about them. And the third is when setting goals for employees as a manager, being a higher grossing salesman than the dude at the other company, or having more sales revenue in this city than another company, is not really what you should be mainly focused on. I believe from Mr. Wooden said, focus on yourself. If you can have your team try to just be better than what they were the day before, over time this will build a team that does put up the best numbers in the city or the market, and a company that does take over new places. So those are my three lessons, is to look professional, be on time, and as a team or as an employee, compete against yourself to be better than yourself instead of somebody else. Because you can't control what other people do, you control what you do. And so a quick story in my life with this, I started playing golf about 6 weeks ago. It's horrible, so bad. Couldn't even hit the ball really. And all my friends and buddies, pretty good at golf, hitting pars here and there, shooting 100. And it really frustrated me because I'm competitive. I want to be the best in my friend group, even though maybe that's not realistic. But what I did was I'd go to the range and I would just try to do something better than what I did the day before. And I went out and I made my first par. And then yesterday, actually, I made 3 pars and 1 birdie, and it was huge. And I still came in last, obviously, but I was ecstatic. I was over the moon because I had beat myself, and I could see the improvement. And so that's just a quick story of an example in my life where John Wooden's theory about success versus winning impacted me.